8:35, 25 minutes now in front of the hour. We were talking with Doc a little bit earlier this morning about the interest rates, and he was talking about mortgage and people refinancing and everything. A little light bulb went off over my head. Hey, I got a guy. So you always got to have a guy. I got a guy for meat. I got a guy for appliances. I got a guy for when I die over at Toledo Memorial Park. I got a guy for everything. I got a guy for real estate, John Modine at RE/MAX Masters, who's on the phone with us right now. Hey, thanks a lot, John. I appreciate you taking the call. Are you there?
I am here. Good morning, Fred.
Okay. Thanks a lot for taking the call. I appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about I don't know how much the coronavirus is actually affecting you guys, other than the fact that it's affecting interest rates and some of that. Is that affecting the real estate market at all at this point? Have you seen any movement?
We're selling houses, but on interest rates, the word pandemonium is very closely related to the word pandemic.
Really?
I think, yeah. So, the market's healthy. Mm-hmm. Homes are selling even in the midst of this Chinese coronavirus pandemic. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's fascinating. It's amazing to watch. There's always an active real estate market. I remember on the morning of 9/11, I sold a house as the towers were going down. But, as our governor has shut down part of our economy, which is just unprecedented, we're selling houses. But what's not known territory for us is what's happened with what the Fed did yesterday. We're heading towards a zero interest rate market, and we don't know where this is going. And in the last week, this fluctuation with interest rates and the bond market has done amazing and very strange things. And so if you're in the market to refinance your house, I really have not seen things happen like this before. My mortgage broker compadres have not seen it, and bankers haven't seen this happen. So it's unknown territory for all of us.
Now, a lot of that has to do with refinancing your home. How much of what's happening with the Fed and with the banks, throwing money at the problem, how much of that is going to either help or hurt, say, a first-time buyer or somebody who's moving out of a house who's contacted you and said, listen, I want to move to Sylvania out of Toledo. How much of that affects them at all?
There's money to be had, and a functional mortgage market. So you can get there's banks right now who want to loan money to you.
Okay.
And they are anxious to loan money to you. But what happened a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, when rates went down suddenly, everybody and their uncle said, hey, I want to refinance my house. And they all called their mortgage broker.
Yeah.
And every mortgage broker put an order in for money, and they froze the market. And the demand for mortgage-backed securities was logjammed. The market for it was logjammed. Fannie and Freddie, who normally buy everything they can, said we're not buying it, and that has in part forced the Fed to act. Liquidity apparently dried up, and the Fed has acted on Sunday. They didn't even wait for their Wednesday meeting. Yeah. They said, here's the fire hose. We're going. And so we don't know what that's going to do, but the supposition is there'll be plenty of liquidity. And I can't tell you what that's going to do to rates, but obviously they're heading down. However, the spread inverted last week, where rates, the Fed lowered rates, and yet interest rates went up. So, but we think that was because of the liquidity problem. Now, I don't want to get too technical. Right, I'm not a technical guy about this, but
well, let me ask you something.
Markets are not functioning correctly.
All right, because I know you have like a team of people, and you send out a newsletter to them and everything to keep an eye out on things. So now I know that there are probably some guys out there, some salespeople, some real estate companies who are saying, it's just too much. I can't deal with it, blah, blah, blah. Have you run into any of that where somebody has turned down, an offer and you've just said, the hell? I'm John Modine. I can do that.
No, people aren't turning down offers, and buyers are actively looking and hungry to buy, and sellers want to sell, and I think buyer behavior and seller behavior is changing rapidly, just like people are making rational decisions. I had on Saturday, Fred, I had a couple of showings, and some of the buyers showed up with masks and gloves on.
Really?
And the governor didn't tell them to do that. People are making rational decisions in the field to do it. I've got a box of gloves in my car, and you know what? My team, we are making rational decisions. We're telling buyers, if you're sick, let's not go look at houses. And our sellers are telling us now, hey, I'm not feeling good. I'm sick. Don't show my house. Yeah. We're telling buyers, it's probably not the best time to bring your kids with to look at houses. It's not. Yeah. If it's an occupied house, we're giving you gloves, disposable gloves before you look at the house. And we can write an offer digitally, electronically, and we can show a house digitally, electronically, do a virtual tour. So buyers and sellers have really quickly adapted to the new environment. I think interest rates, because of what the Fed's done, are going to adapt rapidly. Okay. And the good news is that property values are not stock prices, and nobody has just burned their house down over the coronavirus panic. Yeah. And my trade group has we have a little slogan. It's part of our creed, actually. It says, underneath all is the land. And if you think about it, everybody who listens to your show slept on the land, and they work on the land, and the land has intrinsic value, and God made all the land. The land is solid. The land's here. It'll be here tomorrow. It has value. Yeah. And our Creator has made it, so the land's not going anywhere.
Yeah. No matter what else happens, that's an absolute truth.
He made it, and it'll be here today, and it'll be here tomorrow. Stocks and bonds will fluctuate every day, but that land is here, and everybody lives on it, rents it. Even the homeless people sleep on it, and it does not fluctuate in value like stocks and bonds. And your house has solid value. It does not go up and down in price on a daily basis. And sellers, I think, intrinsically know that. And so even if we saw rates go up in 1 week, 10 days ago dramatically, where some people got a really good rate, and then 2 days later you couldn't get that rate again. But that's not the case with houses. Houses in Sylvania are holding their value. Fred, I got an offer yesterday on a house in Sylvania, sight unseen.
Wow.
Sight unseen. And I wrote an offer on a house in Sylvania, and houses are selling. They have good intrinsic value, and people are buying and selling houses, and people want to sell houses, and they want to move into houses. We're in Northwest Ohio. This is a great place to live.
Well, and I'll give you that.
Not changing.
And that's why I say call John Modine at RE/MAX Masters.
Property values are safe and strong. They're not declining. And I would tell you, what you need to do if you're in this area and you're staying in your house, you really need to look at refinancing. If your rate is 4, 5, or 6%, you need to start thinking about refinancing, because I have a feeling what the Fed did yesterday is going to drive rates down to a once in a lifetime refi opportunity. And you need to talk to your mortgage broker or call me for a Top Gun mortgage refi guy, and I'll send you to a good one.
Excellent. John, I appreciate the time today. I got to let you go. I'm up against a break, but thanks for all the good advice. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Yep. All right. 8:45, 15 in front of the hour.